Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me today because we have some very exciting General Hospital news to talk about, and it's definitely worth the wait. I tell you what, folks, I've been following General Hospital for years, and these days the stories got me grinning like a kid who just stole cookies from the jar. Let me sit here with my coffee and tell you straight from the heart about what's happening with Willow Tate and that Jacinda woman. Oh man, Willow is not playing around. She looks at Jacinda like she's Beelzebub himself walking around Port Charles in high heels. I can't blame her one bit. Here's this girl who used to work as a call girl, openly saying she's keeping the bedroom door wide open, and now she's sniffing around Michael Corinthos, Willow's ex, and the father of her kids. Willow may not care who Michael dates in a perfect world, but when it comes to her children, honey, that mama bear comes out roaring. She sees Jacinda as bad news, plain and simple. And she doesn't want that kind of influence anywhere near her little ones. I respect that. Family always comes first, doesn't it? What nobody in Port Charles knows yet, and this is the part that's got my blood pumping, is that Jacinda and Cassius are in cahoots. They've come back together with their own sneaky plan. Lord, the drama. I swear, every time I think this show can't get any juicier, they drop another bomb. Jacinda's already managed to get close to Michael and is working her dark little scheme, but mark my words, that secret between her and Cassius won't stay buried forever. Secrets in Port Charles have a way of crawling out into the daylight when you least expect it. And speaking of buried secrets, my heart goes out to Liesel Obrecht. That tough old bird is carrying some heavy weight. I've got a feeling she knows exactly why Cassius is back, but she's keeping quiet because of something terrible she did way back when. She's not ready to own up to it. Now they're teasing flashbacks for Liesel, something about giving birth to twins and hearing one of them had died. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Did Madeline Reeves really sell that baby Cassius? After everything that woman did with Nina's twins, I wouldn't put anything past her. Liesel even handed Nathan over to her own sister to protect him and tried to pass him off as Victor Cassadine's boy. What a tangled web. I keep thinking about how obsessed she was with Caesar Faison back then. That kind of love can make a person do crazy things. Jacinda's been a controversial character right from the start, and I gotta say, Willow might not be wrong about her. The girl stirs up trouble wherever she goes. But here's the thing that gets me. Michael has always had a soft spot for Willow. Even when they started out pretending to date, that boy was already falling hard. Now he's head over heels, and he won't let anybody badmouth the woman his son calls mom. Bless his heart, he keeps trying to get Willow to be kinder, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. When it comes to protecting her kids, Willow's got a spine of steel. I don't know about you, but watching all this unfold feels like sitting on the front porch, watching neighbors fight over the fence. It's messy, it's emotional, and it's real. These characters aren't perfect. They've got scars, regrets, and secrets, just like the rest of us. That's why I keep coming back. General Hospital reminds me that no matter how dark things get, there's always another chapter, another chance to make things right, or stir up even more trouble. I gotta tell you, Michael has really agreed to give this whole situation with Jacinda a fair shot, and it's got everybody in the Corinthos family keeping a pretty close eye on things. Most of them are trying to stay open-minded about that tall blonde girl who just waltzed into their lives. They smile when she comes around, offer her a seat at the table, and act like decent folks who believe in giving people a chance. Bless their hearts. That's how they were raised. You don't slam the door on somebody unless you've got a real good reason. But if I'm being honest with you, deep down, nobody knows much about her at all. She shows up with that bright smile and those easy ways, but there's this feeling in the air like something's missing, like you're only seeing the pretty picture on the front of the box and not what's really inside. You know, the Quartermains, they didn't get where they are by trusting strangers right off the bat. I wouldn't be surprised one bit if Tracy Quartermain has already picked up the phone and hired one of those private investigators to poke around Jacinda's past. Heck, if she hasn't done it yet, I bet she's got the number saved in her speed dial. Tracy's the kind of woman who likes to know exactly who's walking through her front door, especially when it involves her grandson Michael and those precious great-grandkids. She's seen enough trouble in her day to know that a pretty face doesn't always mean a clean slate. And let me tell you, with the way things are heating up, I think Tracy might be the smartest one in the bunch for thinking that way. The fans out there are still side-eyeing Jacinda real hard. And after that episode on April 22nd, 2026, they've got even Myanji I was sitting right there in my favorite chair with my coffee when it aired, and that one stuck with me all night. Christina Corinthos Davis and her daddy Sonny were having this serious talk about Ethan Lovett, who's been doing some temporary work for Jason Morgan. Speaking of Jason, where on earth has that man been disappearing to lately? He always seems to vanish right when the storm clouds start rolling in over Port Charles. But the part that really made the hair on the back of my neck stand up was when Christina looked Sonny dead in the eye and said about Jacinda, "What you see is what you get." Now, coming from Christina, those words carried a whole lot of weight. In a show like this, when somebody drops a line like that, it's never just small talk. It's like a big red flag waving in the wind, warning everybody that maybe things aren't as simple as they look. I keep turning that moment over in my mind, and I can't shake the feeling that Christina was trying to say Jacinda is hiding something big. It wasn't the way you talk about a regular girl who's just dating your brother. There was something underneath it, like she knows more than she's letting on, or maybe she's picked up on little clues the rest of us haven't caught yet. Michael's already letting her get close to the kids, opening up his home and his heart, and that makes my stomach twist a little. He's a good man, a protective father who's been through more heartbreak than most, but sometimes love makes even the sharpest guys miss the warning signs right in front of their faces. I've seen it happen in real life too many times, folks, so busy looking at the sparkle that they forget to check what's casting the shadow. And another thing that's been nagging at me like a splinter in my thumb, have you noticed how Dawn of Day keeps getting mentioned more and more lately? It's not just thrown in there by accident. Some of the longtime fans I talk to online are convinced those little references are leading somewhere important. Remember how it came up during Willow's trial? That whole ugly business with Shiloh and his cult left scars on a lot of people, especially Willow. Shiloh had a serious grudge against her because she managed to get away from his control, and he never let that go. Every time Dawn of Day gets dropped into a conversation now, it feels like the writers are shining a flashlight into some dark corner we haven't looked at in a while. Maybe Jacinda has some connection to that mess. Or maybe she's just another piece circling around the same old pain that Willow's been carrying around for years. Either way, it doesn't sit right with me at all. Willow's already got her guard up sky high. Seeing Jacinda is nothing but trouble. And the more I watch, the more I think that mama bear instinct of hers might be picking up on something the rest of the family is still trying to ignore. Michael keeps trying to smooth things over, wanting Willow to soften her heart and see the good in Jacinda, but I can tell it's wearing on him. He's caught right in the middle, pulled one way by his feelings and another way by the people who love him most. It reminds me of those old country songs where the man's trying to keep the peace between two strong-willed women, and nobody ends up happy until the truth finally comes out. Secrets like these don't stay quiet forever in Port Charles. Sooner or later, whatever Jacinda's been covering up, whether it's tied to her past, to that cult business, or to something we haven't even guessed yet, is going to come spilling out into the open. And when it does, I have a feeling a whole lot of folks are going to wish they'd paid closer attention to that little voice saying, something here just ain't adding up. I'm telling you, I can't wait to see how this all blows up. Jacinda's game is about to get exposed, Liesel's past is creeping back, and Willow's fighting for her family. Grab your sweet tea and settle in. Friends, this ride is just getting good.